Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Call to order the regular meeting and agenda of the Miami Special Utility Authority for Tuesday, August the 30th, 2013 at 6 p.m. We are in the Miami Civic Center, filed in the office of the city clerk, and posted in the main lobby in the north outside entryway of the Miami Civic Center at 4 p.m. on August the 16th, 2013. The trust may discuss, consider, and vote on any item listed in this agenda. We are called to order. If you would rise, please, we'll do our invocation. Is John McPhill here? We don't have the chaplain here from Integris? Evidently not. Well, I'll ask my good friend here, Neil, to say the invocation. If you'll remain standing, we'll then do the Pledge of Allegiance. Neil?
Yes, sir. Let's pray. Father, thank you for this evening. Thank you so much for our city and our country. We just ask that you bless us tonight with our decisions and give us the guidance that we need to do your job. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public input. Anybody have anything to say to the council tonight on any of the agenda items? None. We'll go to 5, consent agenda. The following items are on the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing board. They will be approved by one motion of the Miami Special Utility Authority. The items on the consent agenda will not be discussed. Any member of the governing board desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed in its proper order on the regular agenda. Any member of the governing board can also move to add items from the regular agenda to the consent agenda and make one motion and vote to approve. Gentlemen, tonight you have items A, B, C, D, E for your consideration.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second that.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Weston?
Aye.
Trustee Sharbit?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz? Chairman Ketcher?
Aye. All ayes. Consent agenda has passed. Item 6, presentation of preliminary plans for Peoria Ridge Sanitary Sewer Force Main and Lift Station. That's Chief Froman, the Peoria Tribe, Chuck Childs, and David Anderson. Who's first?
Chief Furman's not here, but John Bolte from Small Arrow Engineering is here, and he'll start off in presenting kind of update MSUA where they're at with the plans, and then I'm sure David and Jeff and I will have comments.
Okay. Good evening, John. Welcome.
Hi. How are you fellas tonight?
Good.
Okay.
Very good. Just kind of a progress update here where we're at. We've been trading emails back and forth here for the last week or two with Chuck's office, with Anderson Engineering, and right now we've got, in essence, a what I'd call a final draft set of plans completed for the design of the pressure sewer from your existing lift station out to Peoria Ridge. It's roughly a 10,800 foot extension of 6-inch pressure sewer from the lift station back out to Highway 10C and then down to the intersection at the county road by the substation. Then about another 1,500 foot of 4-inch force main on up to the lift station location. We've got a lift station identified there in the kind of the northeast corner of the property for the clubhouse is where we're at. And then that would be what we would propose to be is the city system, where that would be constructed, installed, the lift station would be put in, and then out of that location then we would go back west to a holding tank and then ultimately back to the new building. So the tribe's part of the system is their holding tank by the new clubhouse and golf cart building. Then we would pump out of that over into the wet well of the actual lift station, and then from that point, once that fills, you know, the proper level that cycles into town. So we've got those plans complete. I've sent those to Chuck and Anderson for kind of their final review and approval. We've also got our technical specifications completed for the installation of the main. We are looking at an HDPE system, so it'll be a high density polyethylene pipe. So from you know, your standpoint, low maintenance, very durable, proven product. We can readily directional drill the main in underneath all the existing driveways and roads and draws and things that we've got to cross out there. Obviously, got a lot of brand new pavement with the road just being widened, and we're not wanting to mess up anybody's driveways or anything like that. We want to go underneath. Kind of the next step that we're at is we've got all of our information put together for the DEQ construction permit out of Oklahoma City. And you know, when you go to the page 2, the permit application at the bottom, it talks about receive, transport, or treat. So you know, once we have all this taken care of, we've got our agreement in place between the tribe and the city, then it has the location where, you know, you guys agree to take and treat the flow from the clubhouse. So I think the design part is very close to being complete, and we're kind of ready to move into, you know, filing for the permit, having your approval on that for acceptance with the state, and then, you know, we're ready to go out and get bids and get us a contractor on board to begin the installation. In the interim, we're going to go ahead and be putting in a holding tank. Probably it's going to be about a 10 or 12,000 gallon holding tank there on the course adjacent to the building. So that'll allow them to go ahead and get open and start, you know, doing their things and their operations and functions. And in the interim, they'll just, you know, pump that out until we get the line built. So we've got our contingency plan in place to make everything work. So any questions on all of that?
Oh, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's come together fairly quickly. Of course, one of the unknowns I think we mentioned last meeting is once we bid it out, we will have a rock clause, and so that's one of those things that you know, hopefully we've got an alignment that's more rock friendly than the south side of the highway is, but we do have that in there, and so that's one of those things that'll have to be sorted out after it's all said and done. The state requires only 30 inches of minimum cover for a pressure sewer. Typically, we like to go with 3 feet just to have a little more protection. So our trench detail is calling for 3 feet of cover minimum, and then we're going to allow it to go up to 30 inches if we do get into some rock, so we can, you know, minimize costs from rock excavation.
Jeff, you have anything?
No, sir, we're prepared to answer any particular questions. I think staff, we are working on a number of scenarios for handling the cost share. The original proposal that we put on the table was the possibility that the tribe would bid 2 options. One would have been the minimum that was required for their facility alone, and the second would be for the oversized line, and that once that cost was determined, the trust would then consider the possibility of providing them with a credit on their utility account for the cost difference. That would be allowed to be used account-wide. So in other words, they would be able to apply that to their bill from the casino that they also have an account with us on. We'd intended to adjust that amount for the time value of money because, you know, theoretically they're going to have a period of time before they realize the same financial credit that they would had they received cash at that point. But because we are always trying to do things with an abundance of caution from a contracting standpoint, we're also going to look at the option of the possibility of the city bidding the project ourselves and then doing the reverse, you know, providing some type of an assessment or an opportunity for them to make a financial contribution based on it, depending on what legal analysis comes back to. David and I have visited regarding the credit policy and the possibility of crafting that in the form of an ordinance. But we've also got some process yet to do with DEQ, I'm sure. We're going to be over in Oklahoma City on the 4th, and maybe we might even be able to stop by and schedule a meeting with the Department of Environmental Quality at that time. We are entertaining a proposal from a planning consultant to put together an annexation plan for the council to consider. And I've also made a promise to one of your members to put together a pro forma on the line to look at possible financial scenarios of when payback would occur, what the payback period would be on the line, and what the overall benefits would be of an annexation program in that area. And we will do that, and we will bring that back to you at a meeting in September.
David, you looked at the legal work?
So far, so good, Mayor. Most of the work that I will have to do can't be determined until I know the arrangement that's being negotiated by management, by the council and the tribe. But I'm aware of the development of things.
That'll be coming back to us later on.
Yes, sir. I don't foresee any problems.
Do you know if Chuck, have you had a chance to talk to Water District 4 at all yet? I know that just came up last Friday, so. I don't know if
In response, I saw that note and I asked for information from them regarding that issue. And I did talk to John, and he said he has coordinated with them on the rural water district and separation of the line. So,
Yeah, we've already taken into account their location. We're going down the east side of the county road to be on the opposite side from them.
Okay.
We're on
He
the
said
north.
there's a 12-foot barrier.
It's a 10-foot horizontal clearance,
Okay.
and we're on the north side of Tennessee. They're primarily on the south. So yeah, we've already looked at that issue to stay away from them. They seem to pick the side where there's the most rock, so we went to the other side anyway. As far as DEQ is concerned, really their only interest is that you agree to receive, transport, and treat. So they don't really seem to care one way or the other how it gets built, you know, whether you guys build it through your process or whether the tribe builds it and dedicates it to you. From what I can tell in the permit application, they don't really say one way or the other. They just want to make sure that you all have capacity at the plant. Handle it once it gets to 10.
Good.
It's totally up to you.
Further questions? Well, I guess all we need to do is keep going full steam and come back.
Presentation.
Yes, sir. We will have the more formal proposal for you at your next meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you, John, for coming
You
in
bet.
tonight. Thanks, Chuck. Approved bid and authorized chairman to sign Waste Corporation of Kansas contract to transport waste at $27.36 per ton. Randy Hines? Hi, Randy.
Hello. I'm a little under the weather. The bid from Waste Corporation of Kansas, WCOK, is $6.45 per ton less than the past 3 years. The significance is it saves us about $100,000 a year. The vendor will supply labor and equipment to transport waste, and the city will provide the loader and operator at our facility, which is the same arrangement we've had for the last 3 years with the current vendor. WCOK will utilize the Oak Grove landfill located in Arcadia, Kansas, approximately 65 miles from the city's transfer station, and around 5 miles from where this stuff is taken to now.
It's basically just straight north of us.
As north as these roads can go.
So why the big decrease, Randy? I thought we were getting a pretty good deal as it was. I'm
Well,
kind of
we
surprised.
put out the bid, and we've never used this company before. They came back with a lower bid, and we couldn't ignore it, so.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's terrific. I just remember from conversations in the past that we had thought we were getting a pretty good deal then.
I think we
So-
went from one way of doing it to another way, where we let them supply all their stuff to move everything.
Instead
And
of
that
us,
saved us a lot of money. Well, this just saves us more money because the vendor was lower.
Okay, that's awesome.
Further questions? Let's have a motion and a
Motion
second.
to approve.
Second.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Sharbit?
Aye.
Trustee Weston?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Chairman Ketcher?
Aye, all ayes. Item 7 passed. Item 8, authorize chairman to sign contract with Tri-State Engineering to create hydraulic model of city's water system. Chuck?
Thank you. Before you tonight is a contract for Tri-State Engineering to complete hydraulic model of our water system. We often are asked about fire flows in the town and improving mains and improving lines. And this hydraulic model will be a tool that we can use to look at what-if scenarios and where does it make the most sense to change our lines, what size lines should those be, and to get that started, to get that done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in putting the model together. Pieces of the system. There will be testing that will be done out there with fire hydrants to get the proper flows. They'll calibrate the model, and then we'll have that working model to use. We have an on-call contract with Tri-State Engineering, and this is a task order that they'll do the work underneath, and it's an hourly not to exceed an amount, and the final price would be, the price is estimated to be between $31,500 and $39,500. And that variance depends on how much work they're going to spend in finishing we have existing system right now, maps of our system, how much they have to spend in getting the acquired information into the model.
So Chuck, just to be clear, this is just our potable water that's going to the residences and businesses. This has nothing to do with stormwater runoff or any of that.
Correct.
type of
Yes, this
stuff.
is our water distribution system.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, the reason why we need to do this is we're getting ready to apply for an $11 million loan from the Oklahoma Water Resources Board to replace mains in the community. And without a hydraulic model, we're not certain what size lines we should go back in with. So this is kind of critical to us. It's in essence a plan about how we're going to go about replacing the water lines and a guide for us to know how much and where we need to start.
Yes, actually to follow up what Jeff said, actually on the permits for DEQ, they actually have a statement that you've done hydraulic analysis on the system, and so this will meet that requirement.
Just another step when you're planning on doing something, you have to do other things to get that mission accomplished. I would recommend this to the city to do it immediately.
I second that.
Trustee Sharbit?
Aye.
I'm sorry, Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Sharbit?
Aye.
Trustee Weston?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Chairman Ketcher?
Aye. All ayes. Item 8 has passed. Moving on to item 9, authorize chairman to sign contract with Tri-State Engineering to prepare plans, specification, and permit applications to relocate water line position across Quapaw Tribe property. Chuck?
Yes, another task order with Tri-State Engineering to complete the plans and specifications so we can bid out this work. The city originally ran a water line, an extension along 69A to service the Intertribal Council building, and a portion of that line was built on Quapaw Tribe property, and this project would design or have the design so we can remove it from their property.
If there's no further discussion, I make a motion to approve the contract with Tri-State to prepare plans, specs, and permit applications to relocate the water line.
I'll second, Mayor.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Sharbit?
Aye.
Trustee Weston?
Aye.
Chairman Ketcher?
Aye. All ayes. Item 9 has passed. Number 10, other new business, if any, which has arisen since the posting of the agenda and could not have been anticipated prior to the time of posting. Any new business? 11, trustee community announcements. 12, staff reports. You had information in your packets, in your iPads. Do you have any information on that?
I have none, Mayor.
Adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
Second.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Trustee Weston?
Aye.
Trustee Sharbit?
Aye.
Chairman Ketcher?
Aye. All ayes. We have adjourned at 6:20 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now enter into the amended notice of the regular meeting and agenda of the Miami City Council for Tuesday, August the 20th, 2013, at 6 p.m. or immediately following the completion of the meeting of the Miami Special Utility Authority here in the Miami Civic Center. Filed in the office of the city clerk and posted in the main lobby in the north outside entryway of the Miami Civic Center at 4:15 p.m. on August the 19th, 2013. The council may discuss, consider, and vote on any item listed in this agenda. We are called to order. Item 2, any citizens' input on any of the agenda items. 3, consent agenda. The following items are on the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing board. They will be approved by one motion of the Miami City Council. The items on the consent agenda will not be discussed. Any member of the governing board desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request that it be removed from the consent agenda and placed in its proper order on the regular agenda. Any member of the governing board can also move to add items from the regular agenda to the consent agenda and make one motion and vote to approve. Gentlemen, tonight you have items A, B, C, D, and E.
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Second.
Councilman Johnson?
Aye.
Councilman Weston?
Aye.
Councilman Schultz?
Aye.
Councilman Sharbit?
Aye.
Mayor Ketcher?
Aye. All ayes. All those consent agendas items have passed. Item 4, authorize mayor to sign on-call contract with Miami Engineering Service, LLC. Chuck.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight before the council is an approval for, this is an on-call contract. There's nothing specific, there's no specific task orders for, at this point in time. We're anticipating some upcoming work, but this is just the on-call contract for Miami Engineering Services, which is Jack Dalrymple, company.
Mayor, may I be excused for just one moment to answer a question related to a subsequent agenda item?
Yes, you certainly may.
Thank you, sir.
And again, these on-call contracts are, so we have the availability when need to call on additional consultants and expertise when so needed.
If there's no further questions, I'd make a motion to approve the mayor's signature on the on-call contracts.
Second.
Councilman Schultz?
Aye.
Councilman Sharbit?
Aye.
Councilman Weston?
Aye.
Councilman Johnson?
Aye.
Mayor Ketcher?
Aye. All ayes. Item 4 is passed. Item 5, authorize mayor to sign contract with Tri-State Engineering to prepare bid documents for the Ozark Trail marker. Chuck Childs again.
As part of the Scenic Byways program, Larry Eller received for the city a grant for some improvements. One of those improvements was this Ozark Trail marker. And there's been a lot of different components that have been completed for this project. One engineering firm did the foundation. Another one had done the monument themselves. Scurlock, the concrete precast concrete manufacturer, is actually there's a contract with them to fabricate it. Larry actually put together the bid documents, and again, federal funds. There's bid documents that have to go. So what I'm asking the council for approval is to have Tri-State, again, assemble all these pieces into a biddable document that we can bid out and have all the pieces fit together.
Questions, gentlemen?
Motion to approve. Mayor's signature on this contract.
Second.
Councilman Schultz?
Aye.
Councilman Johnson?
Aye.
Councilman Weston?
Aye.
Councilman Sharbit?
Aye.
Mayor Kitcher?
Aye, all ayes. Item 5 has passed. Item 6, approve mayor's nomination to reappointment of Sam Grubb to the Airport Authority Board. His term will expire 8/13/2016.
I'll make a motion to approve mayor's nominee of Sam Grubb to the airport board.
Second.
Councilman Johnson?
Aye.
Councilman Weston?
Aye.
Councilman Sharbit?
Aye.
Councilman Schultz?
Aye.
All ayes, that is passed. Sam's back on the board. Item 7, approve mayor's nomination to designate Neil Johnson as a City of Miami, Oklahoma Municipal League, OML, voting designee for the OML conference to be held September the 17th through the 19th. That's my recommendation.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Councilman Sharbit?
Aye.
Councilman Weston?
Aye.
Councilman Johnson?
Aye.
Councilman Schultz?
Aye.
All ayes, item 7 has passed. Thank you, gentlemen. Item 8, approval of an amended Miami Downtown Redevelopment Authority, MDRA Trust Indenture. Council, Jeff, do you want to start with that?
Well, Your Honor, I was going to suggest that since Mr. Anderson is out of the room with the present,
Okay.
that we go to the remainder of the agenda until we
Okay,
can
we'll come back
to
to it. That's a good idea.
That's what he was going to get an answer about, Mayor, so
Okay.
we
We will do that. We'll go to item 9, other new business, if any, which has arisen since the posting of the agenda and could not have been anticipated prior to the time of posting.
Your Honor, I do have an item tonight.
Okay, go right ahead.
Staff is in need of a special meeting. There was not time to amend the agenda, and out of abundance of caution, we didn't want to take action on this tonight. But no doubt you are all aware of the sequester that the federal government has been engaged in, and the fact that the fiscal year for the government starts in less than a month. We have been sitting on grant documents and bid documents for improvements at the airport, which range from a rework of the runway and taxiways down to just the taxiway. And because we're going to have a very, very small window to actually get the grant documents in, staff is requesting a quick special meeting as early as possible to authorize myself the authority to sign the grant documents. We think the grant will be from anywhere from $500,000 to almost $3 million, depending on which project we're successfully awarded. And again, it's all going to be contingent on how much money the FAA gets that they can pass on to the state. So with your blessing, if there is a consensus among you on when we could call a special meeting, it would benefit us greatly. The person from the FAA has apparently been on vacation and just came back today, and we just had this thrown in our laps today. So
Well, Friday'd be the earliest we could do it, isn't it?
48,
Is it
48 hours.
Well,
So Thursday.
Thursday at 6:30. Well, we have to post
So
the
Thursday
agenda
or Friday.
Friday.
Can we all be here Thursday at 6:30?
We have to post it in 2
You'd have
minutes.
to post it. I think you'd have to go probably to 7 or to do it on Friday. I can do either one of those. I just think they need time to get it posted. You'd have to go at 7. Or Friday. I'm okay anytime Friday.
Would you rather Thursday night, Jeff, or?
Well, sooner would be better than later. I mean, she was fairly insistent on that today, so.
I'm fine with 7 o'clock Thursday night, if that's okay with everybody else.
me.
Okay. Sorry, Alicia.
Notice tonight so we can get the agenda.
Any other new business?
No, sir, that was the only
We've
item.
got that handled. Staff reports, item 10. Any questions you want to ask of our staff?
I have none, sir.
None. 11, mayor and council community announcements. Is there any announcements? 12, executive session pursuant to 25 OS Section 307B7 for purposes of discussing any matter where disclosure of information would violate confidentiality requirements of state or federal law. Pursuant to 25 OS Section 307E, the City Council may not go into executive session unless the executive session is authorized by majority vote of a quorum of the members present and the vote is a recorded vote. Neither public body may take any vote or any action on any item of business considered in an executive session except in a public meeting with a vote of each member publicly cast and recorded. Tonight, a discussion on any matter where disclosure of information would violate confidentiality requirements of state or federal law, claims against city self-insured plan authorized under Title 25 OS Section 307B7. Need a motion to go into executive session, gentlemen?
David's not here, Mayor, and so I'm not sure what advice he might want to give us.
Would it
Do
be?
you mind
Well,
if I
let's
ask
take
for
a
a 5-minute break?
Take a 5-minute break and
Well,
we'll come back.
okay.
Thank you.
Cooperative discussions about the amendment of the previous amendment of the Miami Downtown Redevelopment Authority Trust Indenture, which was implemented in February of 1990, or at least filed at that time with the Secretary of State. A lot of time has passed since 1990, and of course a lot of wonderful things have happened in the downtown district, including the Coleman facility. The proposed amended declaration of trust for the MDRA reached a fairly mature stage. I think I've briefed each of you either in person or by email with the proposed alterations and amendments to that document. I've been informed by Mr. Greg Smith, the chairman of the MDRA Board of Trustees, that that board met late this afternoon, frankly, including during the time we've been in session, reviewed that proposed instrument, and subject to one request, they have voted to approve the instrument, subject to your approval, of course, as settlor and beneficiary. And they have specifically requested that the purpose clause of the instrument on page 2 under Article 3 Purposes of Trust include the following clause, and that would be, and I'll simply point out that this is a general statement of the purposes of the trust and how it is hoped and intended with the efforts of the trustees to benefit the entire city of Miami, and of course by extension others in our community. And they've asked for language that would state that one of the purposes is to promote the arts and humanities, cultural and historic preservation. I can tell you that as your attorney, I certainly would recommend that you consider accepting that proposed modification to this agreement. I can also tell you that the document proposes that the current slate of the Board of Trustees terms are declared to end, but they will continue to serve until their successors have been appointed. You don't have an action item tonight for appointment of new trustees. I would assume that would come up either on your next regular agenda or should you choose a special meeting.
Do we have a
agenda.
number of days in there that we're working with
No,
to
sir.
do that?
It's just however quickly you want to do it. I've also been informed that the MDRA Board of Trustees, in anticipation of the City Council's approval of the document, have nominated 4 individuals who I'm told have agreed to serve as trustees of a newly constituted MDRA Trust Board. I'm told that those individuals are Loretta Robinson, Larry Smith, Greg Smith, I'm sorry. Where's Larry?
I think you talked to
Greg Smith, excuse me. Loretta Robinson, Greg Smith, Brent Brassfield, and Ron Stoll. Under the way this amended trust indenture is structured, they would be appointed to serve staggered terms, 2 of them for 1-year terms, and so forth and so on, until all of the trustees were eventually serving, I believe it's 3-year terms. And so that was the news. that I received during the break from Mr. Greg Smith, the chairman of the MDRA. I'm certainly prepared to answer any questions that you may have about this document, about this proposed trust indenture, and would solicit those from you now if you have any.
I don't have any questions, Mayor, just a couple of comments. I think that we should certainly set this as an action item for our next regular meeting, and if not sooner. I don't know that it's urgent, but it's really up to the city manager, and I would have, with that, make a motion to approve the document with the changes outlined by the city attorney.
I second that.
Councilman Schultz,
Discussion.
Aye.
Councilman Sharbit,
Aye.
Councilman Weston.
Aye.
Councilman Johnson.
Aye.
Mayor Ketcher.
Aye. All ayes. Thank you, gentlemen. Maybe we can put this controversial issue behind us now. I never saw any controversy, but I'm glad it's turned out the way it has. We've got good people here. We don't like to create controversy. We like to work together. That's our nature here in Miami. So I appreciate all the people's involvement in getting this handled. It's very important for the city because we were held hostage because we're responsible for financial records and everything. So we'll get that started. You may have questions, who's gonna do that? Well, we're gonna get a hold of Crawford and Associates to help us, right? So that's the #1 CPA firm in Oklahoma. All right, thank you very much again. Thank you, Greg.
Did I explain it correctly, Greg?
Very good.
Thank you.
All
and
right.
Thank you, sir.
What did we do? We went down to item 12, and I read that once. Do I need to reread it to go into executive session? What do you say, council?
If you've already read it once, we can entertain a motion. Your
Okay,
Honor.
let's entertain the
Do we
motion.
have a motion on the board so we can
Would be that last one there, David.
make a motion to go into executive session?
It's,
Yes.
you can get the next item.
Sorry.
Thank you. Neil, it's all
What?
yours, buddy. Got your glasses on?
Yeah, I gotta have them off for this. I move to go into executive session as authorized under Title 25, O.S, Section 307, B7, for the purpose of discussion on any matter where disclosure of information would violate confidentiality requirements of the state and federal law, claims against city self-insured health plan.
Second.
Councilman Johnson.
Aye.
Councilman Schultz.
Aye.
Councilman Weston.
Aye.
Councilman Sharbit.
Aye.
Mayor Ketcher.
Aye.
You
All
just dumped
ayes.
that on
We're
me,
on
didn't you?
executive session at 6:41 p.m., Jill.
Okay.
We beat-
Gentlemen, we're back in session at 7:07 p.m. And the last agenda item is adjournment, item 13.
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
Second.
Councilman Schultz.
Aye.
Councilman Johnson.
Aye.
Councilman Weston.
Aye.
Councilman Sharbit.
Aye.
Mayor Ketcher.
Aye, we're adjourned at 7.